Do dogs remember their mothers and siblings? There's a good chance that your dog only spent a short amount of time with its biological family, whether you bought it from a breeder or adopted it from a shelter. Nowadays, the majority of dogs lack a strong family unit. It's not like it was in the past when a pack of dogs was necessary for survival. Litters are currently broken up after only a few months of development. The mothers leave, and the puppies move on to new homes. Mothers frequently possess additional litters to spread even more puppy love. In comparison to human relationships, this limited interaction may seem depressing, but dogs don't seem to mind at all. Together with their human family members and owners, they form brand new packs. Many owners wonder if their pets can remember their mothers and siblings, despite the fact that their emotions appear to be elastic. Canines are able to recognize human faces and are emotionally responsive. So, does that imply that they are still attached to their biological family? How are dogs bond? Before we get into the details of the science, let's take a look at how canines form enduring bonds. Pack hierarchy used to be everything. Dogs traveled in packs and relied on one another for protection. From collectively hunting to sleeping close together, they did everything together. Even to this day, the dogs in a pack in the wild exhibit signs of a strong bond. Before doing everything in their power to ensure their own safety, younger pups learn from their older siblings. But what about a dog that has been domesticated? It turns out that dogs remember things in a variety of ways. However, it is not the same as the human bonding process. At birth, senses are limited. Understand that puppies are born deaf and blind. Additionally, they are confined in their mobility. Dogs eventually acquire these senses and learn to navigate the world, but for the first few weeks of their lives, they rely on their mothers for survival. Mothers are more than just machines that make milk, contrary to popular belief. They take care of their children, keep them safe, and even teach them how to function. It provides some insight into what puppies really think of their mothers because it is pretty similar to what you see in a pack setting. The mother provides the infants with the only means of survival from birth until about 4 weeks of age. Humans can help orphan dogs become healthy dogs to some extent by acting as mother dogs. However, there are a few things that no matter how well-intentioned a person is, they can't do. Nursing is the most obvious thing. Using a bottle, humans can feed young pups, but there is no physical connection. Young puppies are directly against their mother's body, taking in her scent and heat. In addition, female dogs produce their own distinct pheromones that promote tranquility and security. In times of stress or danger, puppies instinctively gravitate toward their mother for a variety of reasons. She just makes them feel comfortable. Care for mothers. Additionally, mothers help stimulate bodily functions and provide warmth. They lick the anogenital area, which young pups cannot do on their own, to encourage defecation and urination. The cumulative effect of these acts of maternal care is a strong bond that many dogs will always remember. Many will also have brief memories of their siblings because they are sharing that experience with other members of their littermates. It's similar to happy childhood memories of having fun with your own siblings and parents. A puppy's first few weeks of life are crucial, and what they go through will shape the dog they become. The relationship they have with their biological family is important for this reason alone. Even though their time together is brief, it is essential to their overall growth. Are dogs able to remember their mother? We are aware that young puppies quickly learn to recognize and identify their mothers. That is evident from a straightforward observation. But how long are those memories lasting? It turns out that dogs can remember their mothers after being separated for a surprising amount of time. Also, it's not just hearsay. Adult dogs can remember their mothers for at least 2 years, according to empirical studies. To find out, Queen's University in Belfast's Dr. Peter G. carried out a series of experiments. He utilized numerous purebred dogs. German Shepherds, Golden Retrievers, and Golden Labradors were among them. In the first experiment, he wanted to see how quickly puppies between the ages of 4 and 5.5 weeks remembered their mothers. 84% recognized their biological mother. He began by positioning the separated puppy in the middle of the room. Its mother was on one end. A random female of the same age and breed was on the other side. About 84% of the puppies ended up with their mother. The test was repeated by Dr. Hepper. But this time, he used smell instead of sight. To infuse the mothers with natural scents and pheromones, the scientist had them sleep on towels for 2 nights. After that, he put it in a room with another random female's towel. The mother's towels once more attracted the majority of the pups. Compared to the random towel, approximately 82% spent more time with the scent of their mother. According to those studies, mothers and puppies form a close bond that lasts for a long time. What about long-term memory, however? Long-term memory experiment. Dr. Hepper conducted the same tests on a small group of mothers with a variety of breeds of dogs. He specifically selected litters in which the mother and child were separated at 8 to 12 weeks of age. He carried out the same experiments when the puppy turned 2 years old. Surprisingly, more than 75% of the dogs identified their mother's scent. According to the findings of the study, dogs retain these memories of their mothers well into adulthood. Upping the ante even further, Dr. Hepper conducted another experiment with different dog breeds. This time, he included dogs that hadn't seen their mothers for over 5 years. The towel with their mother's scent was recognized by 7 of the 8 dogs tested. Since the final experiment was conducted on a much smaller scale, we are unable to draw any indefinite conclusions from the results. However, previous research is sufficient to draw the conclusion that dogs can recall their mothers for at least 2 years after separation. Do mothers remember their children? The findings of Dr. Hepper are quite fascinating and provide us with incredible insight into how dogs think. It demonstrates that emotionally driven animals and humans alike can form long-lasting bonds with dogs. What about mothers, then? Are they able to recall their children? Some might think that the fact that mothers frequently give birth to multiple litters would muddy the waters a little. To find answers, Dr. Hepper used the same scent-based test. Like before, mothers could choose between towels infused with a random group of puppies or those scented with their leader. They almost always chose their children's towels. Even after 2 years of separation and the birth of additional puppies during that time, they are still able to identify their children. What about siblings? Due to the fact that they share many of the same experiences that shape them, puppies bond strongly with siblings. However, their memories last less time. Around the same time as his previous studies, Dr. Hepper experimented with young puppies. He put puppies in an enclosure with puppies of the same age, breed, and gender for these tests. There were siblings and non-siblings in the group. The puppies showed signs of being recognized by their littermates 67% of the time. Unfortunately, after 2 years of separation, the same cannot be said. Dogs don't recognize siblings as mothers do. The amount of time they spend together determines everything. If the siblings live together into adulthood, their bond strengthens. When dogs move to shelters, they frequently stay together for safety and comfort. If they are adopted into the same household, it might continue. Experts, on the other hand, are unsure whether that is related to the biological connection or to a bond that is more related to the more recent pack structure. In either case, siblings' memories of one another tend to fade over time due to prolonged separation. The bond breaks down, and as dogs get older, they stop thinking about their littermates. Conclusion. Thanks to the work of Dr. Hepper and his associates at Queen's University Belfast, we no longer have to wonder about whether or not dogs remember their biological family members. It is abundantly clear that dogs have a strong bond with their mothers and can remember them for at least a few years after they are separated. Now, remembering and missing loved ones is a completely different matter. Dogs thrive without those biological ties, as the human experience demonstrates. They are delighted to have discovered new members of their family to cherish and love. With you by their side, your dog will have all the family they require as long as you reciprocate.